Here we go. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo goo goo. Painting goo. Ah! It's painting goo. Hi! It's painting goo. Painting me, painting you. Painting goo. Painting goo. Painting goo. Ah! Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo goo goo. Painting goo. Zip. Zip runt goo. Oh, glorious. Painting me, painting you. Hey! Painting goo. Painting goo. Oh, my spine knows its timer. Oh. That's it, you petrified primate. Remind these 30 mortars of the goo. Painting goo. Painting goo. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo goo goo. Painting fucking goo. Painting goo. Painting goo. Painting goo. Bring it home, Myro. You marvelous monkey, you. Painting goo. Goo 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 goo. Painting goo. Goo 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 goo. Show these mortars the meaning of beauty. Painting goo. Painting goo. Red's feckin' goo. Oh, so beautiful. It'll make me weep. Myro, you marvelous monkey. Everybody give it up for Myro, the petrified primate, bringing us into another glorious episode of Tingu. Oh, how dare you interrupt the monkey! You do not interrupt the monkey in the intro! The shame! Oh, the tube vexes me so. Right. Pardon me, whilst I descend into proper paintingu posture. Glorious. The stool was a bit stiff this morning. Phrasing. Greetings, my beloved Japanites. Foreign dogs, 30 mortars, niggers and niggerettes. And welcome to another glorious episode of Paintingu. The glorious light of heaven shines brightly upon Paintingu this fine day, as we return to our homeland of Nipponland, aka Japan. We have a dinosaur and Japanese Paris ostriches to paint. For those newcomers and all those people with temporary amnesia, I am Demigod Defenderu, former resident of Chinese heaven. Yes, I am aware I am Japanese. This is explained time and time again. So if you're not listening and watching to PEINTEINGU and you're not paying for PEINTEINGU, you have no honor! And that is not my fault. Ah, Brother Stabaru, Brother Dickfordu, Brother Griffu, welcome to PEINTEINGU. Another glorious day, another glorious PEINTEINGU. The sweat roars down my back. It is warm today. The glorious light of heaven is not only bright, but warm. It strengthens my spine as my chi begins to flow freely through my apparently half-mortar nervous system. I am still adapting to the insidious banishment I have been subjected to. Being half-mortar is full of challenges. Dairy challenges. This morning, for me, was 1:45 p.m. In the middle of the day, no less. Why, you ask? Because I spent all night PEINTEINGU. It was a good. The chi was flowing. Next thing I knew, it was 5 o'clock in the morning. Something within me comes alive at night on occasion. Perhaps the moonlight speaks to my monkey side. Regardless, I am refreshed, kind of, and here to present you with your dairy goo. Ah, the samurai village rests safely for now. Indeed, the Roker samurai village can take a step back, relax, and enjoy the PEINTEINGU. However, God only knows what debauchery shall befall that village next time I take a day off. Those poor people. It's a feckin' goo! Ah, Dickfordu has the chi flowing this fine day. Myro is so fast, you can't even see his hands move. That would be glorious if it were true. But... oh, glorious Kapu! As we all know here on PEINTEINGU, a horrifying truth is that Myro, the marvelous monkey, is indeed a petrified primate. I mean, look at him. Look deep into Myro's hollow, empty eyes, and tell me if it is not blatantly apparent that he is indeed petrified. It was the only way. It was the only way I could subjugate him into my employment. After the little bitch bear fiasco, I'm not taking any more chances. These people, they claim to be herpers, fans, lovers of the goo. These falsities do not trick me. You must remember, feeble mortars, I may be half mortar, but my other half is a god. A god that has been banished because of a fucking painting! Goddamn Monkey King. A sip of my glorious Java. And a ding from our tiny dog. With the herb of Tobias Beacus Groas, our feathery friend. Can you feel the cleansing vibrations coursing through your spine? If you cannot, you are probably homosexual. As we prepare to engage in today's painting, inhale, exhale. My feeble mortal rugs have succumbed to the vast amounts of tobacco I have ingested. There are many things in Earthrealm I have become quite fond of since my dissension from heaven. My unwearying dissension, I might add. Enough. I must not complain. Apparently, that's one of the rulers here. Is complaining does nothing. That's what Shia said. About what? The stiff stool? Stiffer stool needs more fiberu. My stiff stool needs some rube, is what it needs. You get a can of WD-40 and spray this bitch. As we all know, here on Paintingu, nobody likes a stiff, dry bitch. Oh, fuck. Not to be confused with Junot. Many things with Jews prevent many confusion. Very confusion. Confucius say, I am a Confucius. Right. I believe today's energy is of the more oomph type. Shall we? Engage tunage. Oh, glorious. Woke up stiffu this morning. Phrasing. I wake up stiff most mornings. Oh, my spine knows its timer. Right, let us road this parrot and begin the goo. Always first, the white, because it is right. Painting goo goo goo. Glorious tunage. Painting goo goo goo. Remember to keep your bitches wet and regularly beat them. Where's my rag? Paint, paint! I place my royal rag upon my demi-divine knee in preparation for the goo. Painting goo goo goo. Ah, it's indeed a beautiful and glorious day in the Earthrealm. Right, we have the whiter. If your cheese not throwing, there's something wrong with you. Now, second to the white, the brack. Painting goo goo goo. Goo 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 goo. Ah, glorious gooey bracco. Look at it in all its abyssal glory. I love Brack. So good. So defined. So useful. So willing to herp. Need some shading? Have some Brack. Need to find thick rinds or tiny skinny rinds? Have some Brack. Just looking for a bit of contrast? Some Brack. Painting goo, 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 goo. Oh! The tunes are bringing my nervous system to life. Some red! A glorious colour. The colour of brood. Such vibrancy. I do love the goo. Look at it. It is so bright. So virile. That's one way to describe paint. But paint is virile. Goo. Some sky brew. Where would we be without the brew? Is it just me? I've said this before. I say lots of things repeatedly. But I think that's why part of you loves the stream, is the consistency of inconsistency. But is it just me? Or is Ocean just so much cooler than Ocean? Oh, I should shake it. I must shake this particular goo. This particular brand of yarrow is a very fluid goo. A free-flowing goo. A glorious goo. Painting goo goo. Goo 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 goo. Painting goo goo. Goo 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 goo. I must be careful not to spill the goo. It's so fluid. It's so gooey. I love it. Color flowing freely about the press. It's like half Jap, half Canadian. Ooh! So much color about. Canadians' only saving grace is how fucking funny they are. Little known fact: for every cigarette you smoke, a tiny hat starts rubbing his hands. Where, allegedly, I seen the thing yesterday. It's like one of these like truther things. You know, you can smell it a mile away, like, you know. Truther in quotes. Fucking videos, documentaries. Or apparently like nicotine was the cure to COVID-19 the whole time. Hilarious. Apparently like back in I can't remember the date, but like fucking few decades ago, the American government, like the federal court system or whatever, they got all 7 major tobacco companies to come in and sign a contract where it was like, or not sign a contract, swear under oath that tobacco was not addictive. And then within a few weeks or months, the FDA or whatever came out and said that tobacco was highly addictive. But apparently what's highly addictive is all the stuff they add into it, and it's not actually the tobacco and nicotine itself. Apparently nicotine is not addictive at all, and it has like, you know, it's like a digestive aid It's like, you know, it can provide some energy, and like it can, like, you know, stimulate your nervous system. What was the other thing? It's like there's some people who think that smoking actually makes your lungs stronger because it's like harder to breathe smoke. It's like some of that stuff I just find hilarious, like, you know, like whether it's true or not. Like, I just think, how funny is it that we live in an age, and like it was probably true in most ages, but like how funny is it that we live in an age where it's like the level of uncertainty is boundless. Truly boundless. There's just so much uncertainty out there. Like, I think we currently live in an age where I think it's safe to make the argument that we are alive in a time where discernment, one's discernment, is of paramount importance. You can be so easily led astray in this age, and nobody wants to be led astray, do they? Oh, I can feel a Geppu coming. Oh, I shouldn't have stayed up all night. I feel like shit. But that's no excuse not to go. So, I'm going to squirt here, I'm going to squirt there, I'm going to squirt there a little bit. I don't need to squirt on that because it's already throwing freely. And nobody feel too awkward when I whip out my little mister live on the internet. You know, I will have no pearl clutching here on PEINTEINGU. You fucking prudes. Ah, Desmondu, you have decided to join us. Rate and go. It's been a while. How are you, brother? Hello, I am here. You may now start. The audacity of this man! Boo this man! Sounds like Truth or Cope. Yeah, oh yeah, a load of it sounded like Truth or Cope. A load of it sounded like Truth or Cope. But like, it's both, like, do you know what I mean? Because it's like, just like a lot of the stuff they say is utter shit, they weave in nuggets of truth. And it's the same with the supposed, in quotes, truthers. A lot of what they say is their own version of propaganda and their own bias and their own fucking counter propaganda and all this shit. But they are also using nuggets of truth, you know? It's like we live in an age where truth is like a rare commodity. So you have all these people who have like realized that and are touting themselves as being the ones who have truth, you know? Oh, some truth over here, I've got truth over here, and everybody flocks to them, you know, like, it's fascinating to watch. It really is, like. In my humble opinion, one must be forever skeptical. Painting goo goo. Goo 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 goo. See through the rise. Right, let's make these crowds nice and frothy, shall we? Painting goo goo. Painting. Goo 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 goo. Ah, glorious tunes, glorious sunlight, and glorious companions. What more could we ask for in this glorious realm? The energy of the Bertarian Festival, despite me not being able to attend, which vexes me greatly. But it is so pervasive and so tangible. I can feel it all the way over here in Ireland. Ireland. The Rand of Ire. I always thought that was funny. I started working, I've had this plan for a while now, I think I've mentioned it on stream before, but I'm painting something for Owen, and I think I really like it if I pull it off, right, like, it's just in the beginnings. I just mocked it up last night, doing it on a wood panel for him, the same thing that I did, like pretty much the same. I think it's slightly larger, but it's pretty much the same thing that I did the niggle board on. I like those wood panel things. Just like solid, rigid, and you can just like stick it up on a wall. Very handy. Desmondo was right! You know the rules. 33 rashes followed by disembowering, chop chop. Mr. Bojangles, the nasty goblin. That's some name. Konnichiwa, Mr. Bojangles, you nasty goblin. Iyo koso to paintingu. Ah, my favorite. My favorite. Paintingu, goo 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 goo. Paintingu, goo 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 goo. Paintingu, goo 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 goo. Ah, my chi is flowing today. Paintingu, goo 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 goo. Paintingu, goo 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 goo. I am amazing, lol. You sound very confident in yourself. This is admirable. Paintingu, goo 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 goo. Mr. Bojangles. What's that out of? What's that? That's out of something. Fucking Mr. Bojangles. What's that fucking out of? Let's get some red on that glorious Japanese sun. I don't know what it is, I just love this bit so fucking much. Do 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 loo loo. Do. Paintingu, goo 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 goo. Glorious. I referred another talented artist to your channel. His name on YouTube is Noodles Live. Intriguing. You honor me with your sharing of Paintingu. I will have to check out this Noodles Live for myself. I appreciate greatly your usage of the term talented artist. Despite being a demigod of Paintingu, it's always nice to be appreciated. go a little bit darker. I said a little bit, that's way darker. There we go. This goo requires a squirt. Where's my tiny mister? My little mister. A fairly recent joke on painting goo. What was it yesterday? Like, excuse me while I whip out my tiny mister. Oh, it's hilarious. Right up in there. Let me go back in with bright red. Mr. Bojangles has a lot to say. I shared you to two of my followers. Ah, Domo. Even demigods have to play the role of tyrant and mere human from time to time. Indeed. Indeed. How it vexes me so to be compared to feeble mortals. 'Tis my punishment. The Monkey King is a funny fucker. Do you prefer paint or ink? I haven't used ink that much. I'll let you know. Sayonara, Mr. Bojangles. Domo for your attendance to Paintingu. I hope you enjoyed Ingu. Paintingu, goo, 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 goo. 2 randomers in 2 days. Perhaps Paintingu is beginning to reach the greater realm. Soon we shall see how your average feeble foreign dog responds to the glory of Paintingu. No doubt this shall be interesting. Glorious. Little Mister squirting the goo. He does not squirt the goo, he squirts on the goo. Get it right, Mr. Dickford. Although I have thought about getting more of these and putting watered down paint in them to be able to create my own kind of like little, I suppose like rudimentary air gun thing. Even though I know it's not air, but it would kind of be the same. It just wouldn't be obviously like, you know, consistent. It wouldn't be like a flow. I'd love to get my hands on an air gun kit. Like they're very expensive though, and like, you know, you have to get a lot of colors and stuff and mix your own stuff and shit. Like, but it's worth it though. Like, I'd love to be able to fucking. There's a guy I follow on Instagram called Pinstripe Chris. I've probably mentioned him a few times. But like the combination of brush strokes and
like airbrushing for like hard opaque lines versus, you know, feathered edges that are like kind of transparent. And then he also uses a combination of like watered down semi-opaque paints versus like, you know, very saturated highly opaque paints. And like just the stuff he accomplishes is fucking... I've learned so much just by watching like 30-second shorts of his stuff on Instagram, where he like applies a layer of something and then applies a layer of something else over. It's like, for example, bright yellow, like luminescent yellow, and then lets that dry, and then gets a watered down semi-opaque red and goes over that, and the yellow bleeds through the red, and because it's on a canvas, it also has this texture to it. Like, so it's actually like a really cool way to do lights on cars and stuff. Like, it's trippy watching him do some of the stuff he does. The two guys I follow on Instagram for a while now, like a few years now, that like everything I watch them do, I'm just like, how the fuck? Well, there's three. There's Pinstripe Chris. His stuff is unreal. All he does is like cars. And then there's a guy called Thomas Elliott. And he used to work for Game Shop, so he does these incredible looking battle scenes and these like oil paintings, and like his skill is just, it's like enthralling watching that dude work. The detail, the anatomical knowledge, the lighting, everything is just fucking like masterful. Like, it's fucking insane to watch him do his shit. Like, and the other guy is Hector Tone or Hector Runek or some. I'm not sure actually. I know it begins with Hector. But he does these amazing watercolor paintings of Gundam wings and mecha and like anime mecha and stuff, to the point where I'm looking at them and I'm like, how? Like, how did you get lines that clean and that like textured and like just like panels on armor? And I'm like, watercolor? Fucking, like, granted, he's probably using gouache. He's probably using like gouache that's watered down, or he's probably using that like knicker stuff that they use in anime, like, do you know what I mean? Which is still classed as watercolor, but it's not the kind of watercolor you typically think of. Like, you typically think of watercolors and like your basic, you know, watercolors and poster paints and stuff, like, and acrylics for schools and stuff. Like, they're really low quality and they're shit, like, you know. That doesn't mean you still can't do like really good stuff with them, like, you know, don't blame the tool, you know, that kind of thing. Like, it depends on your skill. But there is a noticeable difference between stuff that, like, you know, dries with a gloss versus drying matte. And like, there's such a noticeable difference between the, like, seeing this chalky matte finish to something that I love doing. It's like great for my cartoony style and stuff like that. Like, but then you see other people just using fucking like basic like acrylics they bought in a fucking toy store or something, and they do unreal shit with it because they just know how to use the medium, you know, to its greatest effect. And then they also mix it with stuff. Like, you could get shitty paints, and then you could get some like liquid acrylic medium and some primer, like gesso or gesso, whatever they call it, and you can get transparent and opaque gesso and like pigmented gesso. You know, so like, because it's white, you'll like lose some of the pigment of whatever color you're mixing in with it. But then you can get transparent gesso, and then like a liquid, an acrylic liquid fluid and shit. Like, so like, you can kind of like alchemically transform basic acrylics into like almost professional grade acrylics, if you know what you're doing, you know. Which I just find that so fascinating, like, you know. But like, it's such an expensive, it's like collecting Warhammer models. Like, it's such an expensive endeavor to like, to really get into the high grade shit and learn how to do all that shit. Like, painting Google. Those clouds are not fluffy enough for my liking. Like, don't get me wrong, they're fluffy, but... There's fluffy and then there's fluffy! Painting goo, painting goo, goo goo goo, painting goo, goo goo goo. Painting goo, goo goo goo, goo goo goo. Painting goo. Painting goo. Do, do, do. Painting goo goo. Do 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 do. Painting goo goo. What I might do is get like a very slight grey and do an undertone on them. I don't do that a lot. I don't do like a shadow. I just make one end more opaque than the other, which tends to same like have a very similar effect. But see what happens if you slap some grey on there. Painting goo goo. Painting goo goo. Do 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 do. Painting goo goo goo. It's a bit cartoony, but I like it. Who doesn't like cartoony? Look at painting 4 years and I'm still trying to find my style, you know? My style! You can't block my style! It's a hilarious episode of South Park. Painting goo goo goo. Remember when Mark Wahlberg and Elon Musk were supposed to have an MMA match? Man, my money would have been on Marky Mark. Mark Wahlberg. Mark Zuckerberg. My money would have been on Mark again. How funny would it have been if Mark Wahlberg and Elon Musk had a fucking MMA fight and Elon Musk choked him out? That would have been hilarious. But seeing Zuckerberg like jab the head and jits the head off of fucking Elon Musk would have been hilarious as well. Painting goo 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 goo. Paint paint. Switch bitch. Painting goo goo goo. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo 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 goo. This yarrow is so fluid.
Iron Man Maru, welcome to Paintingu.
I'd make sure to have plenty of popcorn for either of those matchups. We need to make Celebrity Deathmatch great again. Oh man, I used to love watching that. Celebrity Deathmatch was so funny. Paintingu. 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 I'm gonna black out the windows on the levels on the pagodas again. I tried putting like a mesh, a wood mesh, like a fence that you typically see with the same red, but it didn't work out the way I wanted it to. So I'm just gonna black them out. They'll look better.
Prepare to be blacked, pagoda.
Paintingu. Paintingu. Painting. Goo, 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 goo. Like, if you use shadows correctly, black can be like such a versatile color in the sense of structuring the painting, because like not only can you outline stuff to make it more impactful looking, like cartoony style, you like trap the color and make it more like, you know, impactful or whatever. You can also like, wherever there's going to be like a dark shadow, or like where you could make a shadow a little bit darker or something, like you can hide stuff. You know, you can cancel out mistakes, or you can reshape things, or you can hide stuff. It's incredibly useful. But it's also the same with white, depending on what you're doing. I mean, you've seen what I did with the dragon. You know, I just painted completely over it in white, and just did a completely different dragon. Like, I see these people using, like, you know, Procreate and like an iPad and stuff, and like I'm not gonna shit on people who use, you know, modern tech to do art and stuff, but I think you lose the connection in a sense to the medium because it's just digital. Like, I'll always be more like, no matter the subject matter, like art or whatever, like I'll always be more fucking like analog, old school, you know, hands-on fucking. Like, I'm the sort that, like, if I had the money, man, I'd be fucking getting a PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and Xbox 360. Like, you know, I'd like buy all the old consoles, and I'd buy like a huge selection. I'd have a fucking library going. Like, I really regret fucking being one of those dudes that used to trade in video games for money. Like I did that a few times where I traded in a game and then went and spent it on weed. Like, foolish. Ah, these tunes. They make my chi flow. It feels so good. Painting goo goo. Do 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 do. Yeah, that looks much better. They actually look like they're separated now properly. Painting goo goo. They majorly altered the YouTube algo the other day. They are propping up smaller creators while promoting local streamer uploaders. I also had a ton of political stuff pushed onto my feed. Interesting. But like, since Susan has died, they're like, right, we're making YouTube great again. That is how it should work, though. I mean, like, if you have like 1.6 million followers on YouTube, you don't really need to be promoted, do you? Like, everybody who likes you will like look for you and find you, just like they have and do with Owen. Like, you know, that's what I think is so funny about that Black Myth Wukong coming out, and like everyone's like, you know, this is an example of, you know, anti-LGBT, anti-fucking woke and all this shit. Like, it's like, it's just, it could have been any game. It didn't need to be Black Myth. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, it's just hilarious that it's Black Myth and it's from fucking China. But it's like, this was inevitable. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, Like, I was one of those dudes that, like, 7-8 years ago, I was, like, going down the truth or fucking rabbit holes, and I was, like, starting to freak out, being like, oh my god, it's so much worse than I thought it ever could be, like. But that's why I love comedy so much, and that's why I think it's, like, cosmically biblical. The whole divine comedy idea, where, like, you do get to a level of awareness, if you so wish, where it is simply a choice to look at things as being tragic or comedic. Like, I remember many times where I've thought, like, death, but not that death was comedic, but that being comedic in that context would have been better than everybody fucking, you know, like, so inconsolable they're on fucking Valium or some shit, like, you know. Like, my nan was like that when me godfather hung himself. Poor son, like, my dad's younger brother. He's like 34 or something. He's pretty young, like. And they found him hanging in his garage. And she was so inconsolable that, like, they had to drug her up just so she could, like, function. And even then, it was like, you know, they were putting him in the ground, and she was like, oh no! She's like falling about the place, like, my dad had to, like, hold her up. I remember thinking, like, I was like, he's not in any pain. I mean, he's dead. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, how sad can you be? Like, do you know? But I never said that because I was like, I don't know, like, if is that me being morbid and, like, apathetic? But, like, it's not like I didn't, like, I was really sad too, like, you know, especially when like, they initially told me that he didn't commit suicide, and then I got to the house, and they were like, oh yeah, it was suicide, because they didn't want me to, like, freak out on the way, like, and I was like, how would that make me freak out, like people do weird shit around death, they really do, like, I've been around death a few times now, where I've been like, you people are so weak, you know, like, and I'm like, why am I like this though? Like, I don't get it, like, do you know? You ever get that, like, in moments in life where you're like, why am I the one that's fucking, like, I got that with COVID. I've been walking around with no mask and I didn't take the vaccine, and all, like, people are looking at me like I'm insane, and I'm like, how do you people not see that you're the ones that are, like, totally fucked in the head, like? And that's what it is. It's just, like, awareness and perspective and choice and ego and, you know, how strong is your will, you know? Because, like, you might be like, I don't want to be a liar, I don't want to be a hypocrite, but I'm weak, you know, like, it's like, fine, be weak then. I'm not saying I'm fucking, like, don't get me wrong, I'm a demigod, but, like, man, I've had some people be like, dude, like, I want to be like you and all, like, you're, like, you've this and you've that and you've this, and I'm like, bro, it's never what it seems, like, do you know what I mean? Everyone, no matter who you are, like, I don't care if you're fucking Kanye or fucking, I don't know, like Bob Ross, or, like, it doesn't matter who, like, you're the president of the United States or some homeless dude, it does not matter who you are. Everybody has their demons, everybody has their challenges, everybody has their fucking, like, day-to-day struggles and shit, like, you know? And it's how you deal with them, and it's what you choose to do as a result, you know? Don't react to life. Adapt to life. I think it's about time we got a T-Rex in here. What think ye? I would love to do a stream like that as well, where instead of painting goods, like a ye old painting. I'd fucking get, like, a proper, like, white wig and all, like, it'd be fucking hilarious, like, dress up like Paul Dark or something, like, just like. Right, gonna get the other bitch out again. Where's my chisel bitch? Where's my flat-headed bitch? Water down some white and make the markings for the arrival of the T-Rex. My little mister didn't do the job there. My big mister needed to fucking... Little squirt didn't do it, I needed big squirt. I always thought that'd be funny, is like if I ever did a stream with Owen, the whole thing of like squirting came up, and it's like, ah, dude, I squirt on Painting You all the time. Like, you know, like, I'm forever squirting on my stream. I squirt on a parrot. I fucking... Sometimes I accidentally squirt on myself. That's just an occupational hazard, bro. More water! Like Father Jack would say. Girls! Drink! Feck! More water! Oh, glorious! Whoop! That was it. That was too much of a squirt. Painting goo 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 goo. Preemptively make room for the police light that's strapped to his head. Painting was really like offered me the opportunity to just like character design on the fly. Like I was thinking there yesterday, like I know I've been planning to do the fucking tactical turtle fucking t-shirt for months, and at the same time, like, you know, I would have ended up doing it on fucking Teespring, and I only have one turtle left, so I'm probably still gonna do it. But like at the same time, like I don't really expect any of you to buy it because like I know it's gonna be expensive on Teespring, and you guys are always like supporting me like regularly on the stream and shit. So I don't want to be like, here, buy this too, you know. Like very, like, you know, fucking just like Owen would be. It's like I don't want to like burn you guys out, like, you know. It's not my intention at all. Like, so part of me was thinking of just like stepping away from all the character design shit for like the next year or two, and just like banging as many symmetricals as I can out, and then just keep doing Painting You every day, you know. Because the amount of like, we got the Xenoboon, we got the Chark. And we got the T-Rex, like, police officer thing. There's, like, loads of other characters that we've, like the gangster flamingos in the car. There's just, like, stuff that's hilarious that has just come about on the stream. But having said that, if one of you is, like, you know, listening to this and it's like, no, do the turtle t-shirt, I've been waiting so long. I'm still gonna do it. I've only got one turtle left to do. But what I'm saying is, like, after that, I don't think I'm gonna focus on, like, because it is what I want to do, you know, when I have more time and money or whatever, like, you know, like I can afford to do it or whatever. I want a world build, you know, I want to create cartoons, stuff like that, like I was saying with the Defender Bear thing, cartoon, like I would fucking love to be a part of a crew who made, or even like, you know, make a crew who make just fucking really funny, good stuff, like, you know, with none of the bad shit. Because it's totally possible. It's just the only reason it doesn't exist right now is because of the state of everything, you know. People are more preoccupied with what they think is important and trying not to fucking make waves and all this shit, like, in various ways. So a very rudimentary placement of the ostriches, because I probably won't be doing them for a while. I'm going to focus on the T-Rex. It's just very rudimentary placement. Just give, so I can gauge. I'll probably move them a bit closer, but we'll see. Receiving your fave Haribo products: Star Mix, Gold Bears, Happy Cola, Tank Point. Star Mix and Gold Bears, yeah. Happy Cola, yeah. And Tang Fastics, my an old friend of mine, they were his favourite ones. But I never liked the ones that were really tangy. I could only eat so many of them before I started to get this like feeling in the back of my jaw, like it was like too tangy, or something, like, you know, or like I had reached the threshold of tang that like my taste buds could, you know, suffer through. I much like gummy bears. It was Gold Bears. It was Haribo Gold Bears, like all day, every day. I would just like have a fucking palm full of those, like a fist full of them, and just like popcorn, and just like suck on them, you know, suck all the fucking juices out of them and shit before actually chewing them, even like that. And Starburst and Skittles. Fucking loved Skittles. I'm such a nigger. Like, I'm so ghetto black in some ways, like, should I, so ghetto black in certain ways. Get it, like, you know, like low economic Irish and like ghetto black have like so much in common. It's hilarious. Okay. So no teeth then. I'm surprised I have I still have like all my front teeth, and like the only reason I have a bit of a fake front tooth is because I was sparring with one of the lads one time and I took a knee to the mouth. Fucking put a huge gash in his leg and all, like went straight through his jeans and like left me with like a shard like on the front, you know, your two main front chompers. My right one was like snapped clean, like it was like a blade. It's mad, like. We were sparring drunk out the back garden. I just took, like, I went low. I put my head down to, like, move into him because he was throwing hands. And he just threw his knee up and boom! Like, oh, mad shit. Like, I'll never forget the look on the other guys, on the, like, the other lads that were watching us. Like, it was so funny. Like, I took the hit, and as far as I was concerned, I just probably had a burst lip. I didn't, like, feel the whole tooth thing, and I was, like, still going. Like, I was like, yeah, come on, like, you know. And one of the lads was like, bro, your tooth. And I was like, what? And when I said what and smiled at them, they were like, oh my god. I had blood gushing out of me and all. Like, I was like, oh shit, you serious? And then my mate was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. Oh, it was fucking hilarious. Like, I look back on a load of shit and I'm like, oh my god, we were so fucking stupid. Like, but it's like, I think that's a sign that you're actually maturing as a person, is looking back, and instead of being like, because you get guys who are like, oh man, I miss those days. It's like, I don't. I much prefer my life right now. Like fuck, like. Boom, boom, boom. Oh. Need to retape that. Painting goo goo. Painting goo goo. Painting goo goo. It's all like, it's already looking like pretty much exactly like the other one. I think that I have a feeling this is going to turn out better. I think the pagodas look better, and you don't have the kind of shitty waves in the background that like became completely pointless. Like, clouds are looking good. Japanese Ostrich Paris Mark II. Bigger, badder. Well, it's not bigger. Same size, bigger energy. used to be a fiend for blue Starbursts and green Jolly Ranchers. Do you guys get Mike and Ike's? I remember I got a pack of Mike and Ike's before, and I was like, oh my god, these things are amazing. They're like chewy, but they're juicy, and they have that boiled candy, like hard shell, and then you bite into them and it's all like gooey. I have a feeling that like lots of candy psychologically mimics a lot of natural food types, and that's one of the reasons, like, whatever about the sugar being highly addictive, but like not every, like, you know, like we have way more sugar in Europe. You guys have all that like high fructose corn syrup shit and all. Like, now don't get me wrong, in the last few years we've gotten a lot more sweeteners added into our stuff, like, and a sugar tax and all this stuff, like. But it's funny, you know, how people used to be like, oh, the government are doing this and the government are doing that. Like, you know, me and the female complained one year, like, are you serious? The tin of roses, like, it's like a thing around Christmas here where, like, everybody gets, like, a big, huge box or tin of celebrations or roses or heroes or, like, you know, whatever. There's loads of them. And, there's actually a meme online of, like, you know, 1990s and then like early 2000s and then mid 2000s, like, and the boxes get smaller and the sweets get smaller as well, and you're kind of just like, the lowest rungs of society behave in such a degenerate and undisciplined manner that the rest of us end up suffering the consequences. But it's not necessarily a bad thing sometimes, because it's like, you should consume less sugar. But it's also, they take options away from you, and it's like a sense of freedom. It's like, well, I want to be able to eat like a whole bucket of gummy bears if I feel like it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, fuck you. But it's like, yeah, but there's people who literally do that every day, and then they like, it's those people who like jam up hospitals, and it's those people who, like, you know, it like, it all makes a lot of sense to me. Like, you know, the fucking from watching Owen like go through this logical pathway as well, where it's like, they're not tyrannizing you, they're not like, they don't have a boot on your neck. Like, the government isn't actually your problem, you are your problem. And then you get confronted with, it's like, yeah, but I'm trying to be moral and it's everyone else who's like fucked up. And it's like, yeah, but like, now you're switching back into a victim status. So like, in order for you to like it is, there's no two ways about it. It is frustrating. It is very frustrating when you're trying to behave in a particular manner that you know is effective and works and is like good, true and beautiful and all this shit, and meanwhile you're just surrounded by a bunch of degenerates and fucking reprobate minds and all this like that is just like fucking parasitically sucking off of everything and all, like. But again, it is ultimately, despite how it may feel, it is a choice to allow your surroundings to impact your internal world to such a degree that you're like, I don't like this anymore. What you need to learn what to do is not only to discern the truth of the matter, but you also need to discipline your mind in such a fashion that you like almost instinctively, but like you like force yourself to find, not just see, but like to find and see the positive, the lesson. I think that's a really good way of putting it, is like there's always a lesson. Anytime you're like, oh, this sucks, there's a lesson. Learn the lesson, because if you learn the lesson, you'll actually be like, okay, that did suck, but at least there was a reason for it, and I have like found purpose within it. You know, the problem most people come across is just like, this sucks, and then they do nothing. Penny candy used to be penny candy. Would buy a full bag for a few bucks. Yeah, that's how it used to be like here as well. It's like you go in and it'd be like huge, like troughs with lids, and you could get a little shovel and you could fill up a fucking bag of sweets, and no matter what you put in it, when you brought it up to the counter, it cost like €2 or €1.50 or something, and it was a fucking huge bag of sweets, you know. And then just gradually over the years they just like reduced that and all that. But it makes sense, because you would have had like a lot of people like getting diabetic and all this shit. And it's like, well, if these people cannot govern themselves, then they must be governed, you know? And if we're to govern them, well, we can hardly govern, like, think about it. Could you imagine if a government actually turned around and was like, okay, we're going to treat, well, I suppose the English government is kind of doing that right now. It's like, we're going to treat all the degens this way, because they're degens, and we're going to treat all the normies, you know, because I think that's what an actual normie is us. I think we're the normies. You know, all the people are like extremists, far right, fucking lunatic, like racist, bigot, homophobe, like all this fucking bollocks. We're the normies. The normal, the default, the original status quo is just sensible, efficient, moral, disciplined. Fuck it, like, do you know what I mean? It's just like being a gentleman, like, do you know what I mean? At least for men, anyway, like, do you know what I mean? Or women being a lady, like, do you know, it's like there's a reason all of that came about. There's a reason all of that existed, like, and all this bollocks of like, you know, overthrow the patriarchy. It's like, why in God's name would you listen to anything a person like that had to say? Someone who's like, oh, the patriarchy. It's like, you know full well that half of them don't even know what that means as far as a concept and shit. Like, it's hilarious to me. Like, yeah, we have Mike and Ike's here. Never cared for them though. Oh yeah, are they too chewy? Sometimes they can be too chewy. You kind of find yourself being like, yeah, that's why I like them, because they are like jelly beans. Yeah, I love jelly beans. Oh my god, I want fucking sugar so bad right now. I want to go to shops and buy a pack of wine gums. No way, it's not the sugar, it's the seed oils? Man, you're gonna make me eat a lot of fucking sugar now. Probably good that stuff is expensive now. Yeah, like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's what makes us better. Like, and I don't mean like, you know, oh, we're better than that. Like, in a sense, we are. We choose to be. Do you know what I mean? Like, I choose to be better than that. I choose to have this standard rather than that standard. So objectively, I am better than those people. But it's not like I feel like or think that I am wholly better than any other given individual. You know, on a, like Owen would say, on a spirit, on a soul level. It's like, look, I'm not, like, I don't think I'm God. I don't think I can judge you. But, like, there is just blatant, objective, like, observable facts. Like, you know, it's like, I'm better than the guy who commits suicide. Why? Well, mainly because I'm still here and I'm alive. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, like, it depends on the definition of better. Like, you know, people are so stupid. Like, and I swear to God, I never thought, I grew up thinking I was kind of thick. Like, I just legitimately grew up thinking, like, why is this all so hard? Like, well, yeah, I never felt stupid. I felt misunderstood and isolated through what at the time I thought was just like happenstance, you know, like just, you know, just how shit is. You're Ginge, they don't like you. You know, like, it's hilarious how gingers, like a lot of gingers out there would have very similar experiences to a lot of blacks who are like, you know, you didn't grow up with racism. It's like, I know not everybody gets bullied, like, do you know what I mean? And if you took the Venn diagram or whatever of like people who get bullied and like people who get bullied and are Ginge, like, I'd say there's a lot of data points that would like what's the word, that would suggest that ginger kids that get bullied worse than normal, just any other kid that gets bullied, like, do you know what I mean? Because it's like, it's almost a more ludicrous thing to bully someone over, you know? Because it's like, I have the same skin as you. Yeah, but your hair's red. It's like, Jesus Christ, I mean, like, will you people ever be happy? You know, like, Like, you're just gonna... They'll always find something to be like, you. It's like, yeah, whatever, bro. Okay. I did it again. I'm only after realizing it just there, and I did it again. You can't even, like, what was the point in doing the Tory gate? That was a good-looking Tory gate, and now there's just a fucking T-Rex in front of it. I'm like an unintentional etch-a-sketch or something. Like, I'm like, oh, fuck. Oh, no, I'll just put white over it. And that's why white is the superior color. Painting goo. The junk food that should be more expensive. That way you save money for the good stuff. Yes. Well, we could be here all day, rhyming off all the things that should be, you know. I think I'm onto something with that, with the whole autism thing, and the reason why autistic people like are. I think the reason it's called. Well, like, it's obviously there's probably some kind of Latin named science reason for the reason it's called autism. But I think, like, in a language kind of, like, philosophical sense, in a, like, you know, slightly woo-woo, you know, synchronistic, cosmic sense, autism is the instinctive want or desire for things ought to be a certain way. And I've kind of seen that in, like, severely autistic kids. But I suppose, is autism the same as Asperger's? It's not, is it? It's like a different thing. You see, in my opinion, they have so many different illnesses and stuff that are probably just down to mineral deficiencies and, like, lack of certain vitamins. And, like I think most mental health, in quotes, could be boiled down to just, like, missing ingredients at, like, you know, the appropriate time in your life and shit. Like, I think in a lot of ways I hit the genetic lottery. Like, I had to do fuck all really, like, physically, and, like, I've always looked like, you know, grand. Like, I'm not ugly. Like, I was allergic to a few things. I had really bad acne. But, like, when I, like, got out of my teenage years and stuff, like, you know, I had a hernia when I was quite young. I've had, like, weird shit wrong with me and stuff. I had severe asthma when I was young. Like, I genuinely think they do their very best to kill you at birth in certain circumstances. You know? Oh, we need to give your baby all these vaccines or they'll get sick. And, like, they just make your baby weak and feeble and just drastically increase the likelihood of it dying young through some kind of complication. Like, the amount of kids I see that are like, you know, fucking, you know, oh, my toddler needs a heart transplant. Why in the fuck did that happen? Like, what the fuck are you and the mother doing that your fucking 2-year-old needs a transplant? It's like, oh, things like that just happen. No, they don't. I don't believe that at all. And, like, and quite often you see these people are the more religious type, and it's like, so you believe God made, you know, all this perfect and shit, but your 2-year-old gets fucking born with a heart defect? That's not God's doing, that's our doing, that's your doing. You fucked up. Like, watch, I'll fucking have a bunch of, like, Down syndrome autistic kids now. I'm not gonna lie, part of me would be like, this is gonna be fun. Like, don't get me wrong, I know it'd be insanely stressful in a lot of ways. But I have a similar opinion to fucking, like, I never got to express myself. Well, not that I never got to. I never expressed myself the way I felt like expressing myself around disabled people. Because there was always other people there treating them a certain way, you know? Treating them as if they were totally capable, as if they were totally aware and all this stuff. Whereas I always wanted to be like, do you like chewing on that spoon, do you? Yeah. Does it taste nice, does it? Do you love that spoon, do you? You know, like, it's a great spoon, isn't it? Like, do you know, like, I'd like, like, it felt nicer sometimes to, like, you know, kind of exist in their world for a minute and be like, you know, bring yourself down to their consciousness sometimes and be like, I know the wall tastes really nice, but, like, you know, so it's like, I always thought it was incredibly cruel how we treat disabled people, you know? You can do what I can do! It's like, come on. Like, you literally have to feed him and wheel him around and, like, you know, change his diaper and shit, and he's 40. Like, you know, like, how the fuck can you make the argument that he's, like, you know, if you think life is sacred, then, like life has a value, you know? Well, like I think that's apathetic. I think that's a sign that, like, these people have no comprehension of what actual, like, compassion is. Do you know what I mean? Because, like, I think the compassionate thing to do is to, like, if you have a severely disabled person, like, I'm talking, like, cerebral palsy shit, like, do you know what I mean? I'm not talking about just, like, Down syndrome or something. Like, if the person cannot function on their own, and you know this, you know, then it's like, you probably should kill it, you know? I think that's the merciful thing to do. I mean, like, we kill to eat stuff. You're not going to kill to prevent decades of misery. Do you know what I mean? And then people would make the argument of, like, oh, but look at him, he's so happy. And, like, you have no idea, though. Do you know what I mean? Like that person, that soul, that entity has completely different reference points for, like, everything. It's like fucking Helen Keller. It's like, it's not fucking, it's like, there's no way she has that accent. Do you know what I mean? So she's clearly faking being disabled. You know, because we know that real disabled people are, like, so fucked up. They're, like, drastically different from the rest of us. Like, I just thought, like, I was just thinking there, like, what do French Down syndrome people sound like? Fuck that. What does a Down syndrome, like, Japanese person sound like? Like, do Down syndrome people, like, sound the same across the board? Like, I doubt it. Like, do you know? Like, so, like, when you have a Down syndrome person here, you know, like, and not most of the time they're not actually that bad. Like, speech impediment isn't that bad, like, you know, but they all have that look. I'm just thinking of Down syndrome people with, like, and then, like, trying to put all the different races on them, like Down syndrome Chinese, Down syndrome Japanese, German, Russian, French, like, I don't know, maybe I should slap on an episode of the Special Olympics. I used to see, like, bus stop, like, you know, the billboards on a bus stop or something, like, you know, for the Special Olympics, and it was some Down syndrome person, like, you know, and I'm just like that I get, like, they look happy, you know, and they can do stuff. But when you see these people who are, like, totally immobile, totally inert, just being literally fed like a baby, carted around in a chair, what kind of life is that? And you're perpetuating it because you don't have the fucking balls to kill them. Like, I don't know. I probably sound like a fucking, you know, horrible psychopath, but, like, I think the way society at large behaves, and I think the way a lot of people behave, is, in my opinion, utterly fucking psychopathic. But then again, I also think that, like, you know, I would agree with that, like, certain aspects of existence require psychopathy to get through them. You know? Like, you can't fucking tell me that there isn't an element of psychopathy to war. You know? You'd have to be a fucking bit of a psychopath to fucking get on a plane or a boat and just go shoot strangers. Oh, but it's for this, that, and I don't give a fuck what reason you have. It's an insane thing to do. the gelatin in gummy bears is really good for the joints and skin. Yeah, I've heard if it is actually beef gelatin, yeah, that shit's really good for you, like pork gelatin and stuff, because it's essentially just isn't it like boiled fat and stuff? I've heard this recently, like throughout like some of the truther sphere, that like a lot of this like the Coca-Cola myth, where it's like if you're eating right and you're doing a lot of right stuff, a can of Coke is actually like an additive, not a subtractive. It's only when your body has reached that point of like a certain toxicity level, and then you drink something like a can of Coke, that then makes stuff worse. Which makes sense to me completely, because like I view like the realm in an alchemical way now, in a lot of ways. And I think like your internal alchemy can be like, you know, for want of a better term, hacked. So I'd say a lot of these elites, like they were talking about how Trump like always has a can of Coke, and a lot of elites do the same thing. You'll always see them with a can of Coke. That's because like they have access to like the best food, and they eat like the best restaurants like all the time, you know, and they have access to the best medical care and all this shit. So like having a can of Coke a day or something doesn't affect them at all. It's only when you have someone who's like really unwell and they're drinking like 6 cans of Coke a day, it's like that's sending them past the threshold, you know. There's like all sorts of arguments for like cigarettes, even like when I thought of that like a few years ago. Like watch the movie Ip Man, you know, and then you see like Donnie Yen smoking after like fighting, and like they said that let's like they put that in because that's historically accurate, because Ip Man used to smoke, and it's the guy who trained Bruce Lee. And he was like, he made it well into his fucking 90s, you know? And everybody has a fucking great aunt that smoked like a train and lived till fucking 98, you know? So, okay, so if it's not the smoking that kills you, then what is it? You know? Owen's right, it's your behavior. It's your activity within the realm, it's your choices on a day-to-day basis, you know? And it's like, it's fascinating to me, like, because I tend to go by that, like I don't know if you'd call it a mantra, but like I like the concept that this place has rules, right? Existence has rules, but rules as a concept are not like a ultimate thing, because every rule has an exception. Some rules can be straight up broken and some rules can be bent, you know? But what it is a framework of limits and possibilities. And that's what allows things to grow, is because like if you restrict something in the right context, you force it to grow. And then if you give something breathing space in enough context, you allow it to grow, you know? You put a goldfish in a big bowl, he'll get bigger than you would if you put him in a small bowl. But like if you look in the context of humans, or just take an individual, stressing an individual can and does cause growth. But when you look at it in a mental or spiritual sense, it's like if you stress someone too much, they break, you know? So like it's like, you know, Conan, you know, like when he's making the sword, right? If you only use fire, and if you cool it too much or at the wrong time with the ice, then your sword will be brittle, you know. So it's that thought process of like it's not just wheat from chaff. It's not just a sieving out of impurities so you get the best stuff. It's a tempering. It's a carefully calculated manipulation of materials in an environment to achieve the optimum result. And I find that fascinating, because when you look at like how the elites allegedly behave and like all these governments and stuff, you start to get this meta view of things where it's kind of like, are they actually the good guys? Like, you know, like, because like when we're down here and we're in the weeds and we're amongst the masses, like, you know, it's incredibly hard to see it from their perspective. You can imagine it from their perspective, you know, But if you actually saw it from their perspective, you quite likely would come to the conclusion of, like, this must be done. You know, how else would we do it? Like, you know? Now, don't get me wrong, you can still make the argument that there's a lot of these, like, people at the top who are, like, literally communing with fucking demonic entities. But it's like anything, I think it's both. You know? I think it's both. There's a reason. There's a reason things like that are allowed to exist. And in my humble opinion, the reason why these in quotes evil things are allowed to exist is simply and fundamentally so that we can know what good is. That's it, really. Like, you know, it's not like this big, you know, profound revelation. It's actually quite simple, and in its simplicity, it is, you know, beautiful, because it's just like, if you didn't have a catalyst or an agitator or some kind of additive, whether positive or negative, then you would just have things, you would just have the essence of things, but those essences wouldn't be able to, like, interact with anything and therefore grow and change, you know? It's almost like God's, like, fundamental purpose was to create autonomy, you know? Like, he didn't want to just make a thing, like a box or a stool or a mountain or even a river. He wanted to make autonomy. He wanted to create something that was still under his jurisdiction, but not necessarily completely. You know? Which is, like, really understandable when you think about it. I mean, like, even as a child, like, I used to, like, be playing with Lego, and you would fantasize about, like, them coming to life and, like, interacting with each other without you having to move all the parts. Like, could you imagine if there was a time in existence where God created, like, a whole realm, but it was still and silent, you know, and nothing moved. There was no wind. Things were just there. It was like a painting, but it was 3D, and you could walk around and, like, smell and touch things and all, like, but nothing happened. And he was kind of just sitting there in a museum of his own imagination, you know? Just kind of walking around being like, okay, I've made all this stuff, and it's cool and all, but, like, what's the next thing to do? And then you start small, you know? Be like, alright, well, if I just change things a little bit, then this stuff will start to, like, do stuff, you know, of its own accord and shit. Like, do you imagine the profound sense of excitement and, like, imagine it? Do you think God had a sliver of fear when he started to watch his creation, like, do stuff without him having to, like, intervene, you know? Like, you make it and then you, like, hands off, and then it starts doing its own thing, and part of him would have been like, oh shit, here we go. Like, I hope I don't have to intervene too much. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it is a singularly, like, all-powerful entity. I wouldn't be surprised if there has been many iterations of existence, because existence got to a point, like, a few times in a row where God was like, oh fuck, I just need to hit the reset button. Just like he did with Babylon and all, but that was on, like, a small scale when you think about it. Like, you know, it was, like, just with humans, you know? Like, what if existence itself got so out of hand to such a level in previous iterations of existence that God has had to, like, literally start everything all over again, you know? Like, shut it down, pull the plug, like, you know what I mean? and totally start all over again. Like, let's make some green. Speaking of which,
Pay for painting you! If you don't, you have no honor.
I almost don't want to buy alcohol anymore for the same reason. Yeah, like, I can't remember the last time I bought alcohol. Alcohol's been bought for me, though. And in recent years, I've become quite partial to rum. Like, I don't have a problem with alcohol. It's like anything, like, do you know what I mean? Like, I have a problem with how people behave with it. That's the issue that I have, or that I would express. The issue I would express is that, like, it's just like a gun. It's like anything. Alcohol's a tool. You can use that tool in various ways. I think a lot of people, like, freaked out when they started, like, watching Owen a lot and being like, oh my god, I have to drastically change my life or else I'm a bad person. Which isn't the case, you know, because you can see it, like, a lot of the time over the years. Owen's been like, I'm not judging you, like, do you know, because I can only imagine the amount of people that get onto him and are like, oh, so you think you're better than me? Like, I need to drink. I've got 5 kids and one of them's got a heart defect. You think I could do all this without having a bit of whiskey at the end of the night? You fuck! Like, it's like, Jesus. Do what you gotta do, nigga. Like, it's simply the, like, and that's why, like, it's hilarious that he's like, you know, maybe I'm just autistic. Like, I totally relate. He's just being factual, you know? It's just like, if you were just reading the index of existence, it's like, being drunk is bad for you. It's like, yeah, that's just true, you know? Does that mean alcohol is bad? No. Does that mean I should stop drinking, you know, once a month when I play Dungeons and Dragons with my friends? They're, like, probably not. Unless on that night you get blind drunk, you know, like... But even then, if you only do it once a month, that means you only do it 12 times a year. So, like, if you're relatively healthy, it's probably not going to affect you at all. Like, it's circumstantial, you know? It's relative, you know? It's hilarious, like... Like, what was it that fucking... Was it the camera fool who fucking said that? It's like, my wife's complaining because they won't let her suck me off anymore. It's like, okay, 1, TMI, bro. Like, what the fuck? Get your shit together. And 2, like, why the fuck are you blaming me for that? Like, that in itself shows a level of just, like, I don't know, lots of things. Stupidity, lack of awareness, animalistic, lack of discipline, fucking emotional, like, and a lack of emotional discipline. Like, it's just watching over the years how psychopaths have interacted with Owen has really opened my eyes to, like, how true the Bible is, because it is very comparable to, like, the whole Jesus thing of, like, it does not matter how many people he fucking helped, how many people he opened their eyes to stuff, how better their lives got after the fact. Like, it doesn't matter. None of it matters in that sense. Now, is what he is doing important, and does it matter? Hell yes. But in the context of like, you're not going to save everyone. I really like that thing that you used to say a while ago. It was like, you'll take my worst, I'll get your best. I think that's like quote worthy. That's such a true statement. That typically, like, the people who leave, you know, didn't belong here in the first place, and engaging in those kind of conflicts is necessary, because you never know who will end up finding you as a result, you know? Like, I do firmly believe in the whole God works in mysterious ways thing, because, like, man, fucking, like, some shit happens and you're like, nah, like, how? Like, and you're just left with there like, fuck it, just roll with it. Like, the crap oil blocks the metabolism of sugars. One must make a choice between sugar or fried food. Interesting. Interesting. See, now I just want to eat a whole packet of wine gums, though. God damn it, Dick Fordu! Like, that's that kind of mentality. Could you imagine if I genuinely, like, if I went off after the stream right now and indulged in, like, far too much sugar than I should, and then tomorrow I came back on the stream and I felt awful, and I was like, Dick Ford, this is all your fault. You're to blame for this, you know? Even though, like, it's like obvious, it's blatantly obvious that I'm the one that chose to do all that, you know? Dick Ford didn't, like, shove gummy bears down my mouth. Like, that's how these people operate. It's like, it's your fault I'm weak. It's your fault I can't take the truth. Like, you're the bad man for exposing my shame and weaknesses. Like, how dare you provide me with an opportunity for growth? You, sir! Okay. A little bit of black. Oh, that's a nice shade of green. Tiny squirt. Darker in here. Painting goo goo. Painting goo 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 goo.
Look at him in all his glory.
We are well on our way to completing Mark II of Japanese Ostrich Paris. Glorious. I like this shade of green for Officer Rexu. Yeah, it's a bit more blue than the other one. I'll try and keep, like, it's gonna get brighter and darker the more I work on them. That's a bit too minty. Put too much white. I put too much white in the goo. Painting goo goo. Goo, 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 goo. Okay. Let's see what Cosmic Upload is like. Shut your face. Advertisements are not welcome here on Paintingu. You should know this. Harkening back to the days of Dana from StreamYard. That bitch. May she rot in her. The thumbnail to this is deadly. Dude in a spacesuit with a guitar, like a cosmic background. Is it just me or is that a bit lower? I'll turn it a bit.
very melodic. It's beautiful.
To achieve that shade of green again.
Marvelous melodic melodies.
I think I'm back to the medium tone now. A bit off. I think I need to go a little bit darker. Just a little.
Hi, my name is Stuart Lerner, and I studied the higher
Fuck
diploma
are
in
you,
Business
Stuart?
for business.
Nobody cares.
Oh yeah, there we go. Bleeding spot on that.
My paintingu skills are like no other.
I fucking want to be from a demigod of painting goo.
Oh, glorious. Rory, butchery. The T-Rex forms before your very eyes.
belly looks distended because I've tried to put the leg on the other side.
Needs a squirt. Paintingu. Paintingu.
So I've agreed.
So I sound like a fucking gobshite, and I probably got paid fucking nothing for this ad. Broke sellout fuck.
Guerrera's berry is so full of crab ragoon and fried rice you cannot eat another vinegar.
Oh God, I thought it said gorilla. Godzera's berry. He still looks like a fat cunt, doesn't he? Yeah. I'm not happy with the belly at all. I don't think I put the other leg on the other one, did I? I had him like, I don't think I gave him a yellow belly, did I? I can't even fucking remember. But like, if I was to do him like a crocodile, you could like make sure the belly ends there, kind of thing. Yeah, you see, that doesn't look as bad. Still looks pretty fat, though. I'm after making a fat Rex. How's it look if I get rid of this now? Yeah, he's still a bit of a fat cunt. I gave him a huge belly this time. What I should do is bring the tail up. I should make his tail thicker. That would probably even it out. Like bring his gut in here. Yeah, and then maybe make the. Well, I suppose I could leave the tail alone now. that's better. Doesn't look like a fat cunt. Get the ostriches in there. And there. Definitely getting there. I am going to take a piss, make some coffee, and I will return. Today's going to be a long one. I also need to walk around for a bit because my ass is totally numb. Right. Enjoy the tunes, watch some paint dry, and I shall return momentarily. Defender ass! Oh jeez!
charcuterie, love.
Very fancy.
Thank you very much.
Super Value won big at the 2024 Great Taste Awards. Taste the quality from our delicious selection of award-winning Signature Tastes products, perfect for get-togethers. Just try not to eat it all before the guests arrive. Make real savings on Signature Tastes food at Super Value.
Don't mind if I do.
Kate?
Think you're ready for 1 gig Sky full fiber broadband? Think again. It's not just fast, it's full fiber fast! Get ready for broadband that blows you away with 1 gig full fiber speeds. Search Sky Broadband to get started.
returned. I'm bearing corn that pops. Fucking starving. Oh. Who can blame Gojira for his gluttony when it comes to the glorious of goods? Who can blame Gojira for his gluttony? It kind of like, you know the way they like, in the last couple of, what's the fucking thing? Like,
They kind of did make Godzilla like a fat bastard, didn't they? Like, he's a chunky monkey. I'm gonna wait for that to dry before I go near it, because that's buckled a lot after me going over it there a few times. Paper needs to dry out and stretch. But we've made excellent progress today. I'm gonna stick around for another while. Female won't be back from work yet, so I can afford to indulge in the goo. I'm quite satisfied with our progress today. Won't be long before Japanese Ostrich Paris Mark II is finite. I got the old phone working, so I can take pictures and stuff. Obviously you guys know if you're in the Telegram chat already. Godzilla has glorious Geppus. Yeah, I mean, like, when your Geppu can fucking level the city. It's pretty glorious. But Godzilla's the epitome of, like, I'm the firing the laser ball. Like, can you guys hear me chewing? I was playing, what was it? It was a few weeks ago. I was playing Dying Light with Desmondu and his girlfriend, and I had to keep turning the mic off because I was like, he was eating biscuits or something, or crisps. That's what it was like. And it's like something would be said, and I'd be like, yeah, you have to, and I'd like cut off, and I'd be like chewing, and then I'd come back in and be like, yeah, sorry. So what the fuck are you doing? I'm eating. I used to think it was hilarious with like I used to watch this guy on the regular. A guy called Jesus Here's Toast. Famous in the gaming world for just like being like, you know, the blood god. He's like the bloodborne streamer. And he's definitely earned that title. Like, he's incredibly entertaining and he's really good at the game. And he also, like, he loves the game, so he knows a lot about the lore and stuff like that. The first time I seen him order like a sandwich on stream and then keep playing, and then like 40 minutes later or something, the sandwich shows up, so he's like, oh, my food's here, and he'll leave and come back and like place this thing on a plate. And occasionally we'll just like put the, like a loading screen will come up from, like, you know, he's like going from room to room or something, like, and he quickly puts the pad down and picks up this like sandwich, and like this dude's beard is like fucking down to his balls. It's huge and it's vast, and like he'd have this little napkin and all beside him where like he'd take a big bite out of something, like, and then he'd spend the next like 2 minutes wiping it all away from the fucking, like, I can relate. Like, when I was painting last night at like 4 o'clock in the fucking morning, I didn't realize I got white paint all over my left hand, and I fucking started doing this, and thankfully it had dried into my hand before I was doing this. But I had that, I did this at one point, it was like, oh shit. I like legged it into the toilet. It was like, I just get a fucking lot of like, and like of all the paints to get in my beard, it would have been the worst one. It was like that really thick, chalky, heavily pigmented fucking white paint. Like, oh, such a gobshite sometimes. While I'm waiting for the T-Rex's belly to dry up, I could we'll start back up here and work our way down again. Get some more work in.
Let me know how loud my chewing is. Hi, nuclear geppos from all the spicy food. That's what happens when your main diet is a lot of Asians. Salt. Yeah, so this playlist isn't bad. There's another just random one I picked up there the other day. That's pretty cool. What about 90 minutes of metal volume 2? These advertisements. They can't even put in the effort to having decent fucking tunes. Disgracefor. Utterly disgracefor. Peddling their filth on my stream. The audacity. Tiny squirt. Oh! My little mister has fallen! Things you don't want to hear out of context on PEINTEINGU number 33. My little mister has fun. I knew it. I knew I didn't have to say anything. It was a toss up between that and oh no, my little mister has gotten roos. popcorn and the coffee is mixing.
Make mealtimes doubly delicious. Yummy.
I will double how delicious it will be when I decapitate you. The audacity of these people. Interrupting Paintingu to serve cat food? The shame. Oh, glorious. So distracting. Painting, goo goo, goo goo, painting, goo goo, goo goo. Painting, goo 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 goo. Painting, goo 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 goo. Oh, glorious. Oh, fuck. When the first thing you've eaten all day is popcorn and coffee. Painting, goo goo, goo goo. Glorious matter. Profoundly satisfying for the soul. As it appears Stabberoo is a little sleepy boy, I put it upon myself to remind you filthy mortals to like and subscribe to Paintingu. Your honor depends on it.
I think Stabberoo put it in like at the beginning, in fairness. And weren't you late to today's goo? Hold on, I scroll to the top of the chat. Yeah. It's right there at the top. He beat you to it. He knew he wouldn't be around. He preemptively gooed. Brother Desmondo, you have been found wanting. I have been made a scapegoat, how dare you? This whole time, Garlos is just sitting in the corner, full of shame. Garlos is facing an identity crisis the last while, like. That poor feline doesn't know what his purpose in life is anymore. One of these days I need to do like an animated short or some shit, or even just like still images over a voiceover of like the background to like, even if it's just Garlos for the moment, like, but I was like just thinking to myself earlier on before the stream, I was making coffee, and it's like seriously hilarious to me that Garlos' storyline is that he used to be the prized possession of a Colombian drug lord called Don Blanco, and this dude wanted the most ferocious, the most vicious, the most lethal tiger in all existence. So he force-fed Garlos like buckets of cocaine over the space of a few years. And then, lo and behold, a side effect of all of this cocaine made Garlos develop X-ray vision. A particular kind of X-ray vision that can be blocked out by aluminium. It just makes me laugh, like, seriously just makes me giggle. In Irreverent, he has a hearty distrust of Canadians, so understandable. Added to the cartoon plot, Stabberu is always to blame no matter what goes wrong. Yeah, like, we got used to blaming you for everything because you would commit seppuku over, like, the slightest thing. So we just started blaming you for everything. I don't know, what's funnier? We use you as a scapegoat for everything, or you like, even if we're like blaming something else in the moment, you just take the blame and kill yourself regardless. So like the amount of times we'll be like, dude, it's not your fault. I mean, like, it was this person. Like, he's like, no, the shame. And it's like, what shame? You did nothing. Like, stop just like, dude has an addiction to seppuku. No matter the scenario, far as Stabberu is concerned, the only course of action is seppuku. Make some browner. Dude on the drums is really giving it socks. How many times must one regenerate before seppuku becomes as cumbersome as the slightest infraction to merit the act? And you're so used to being being immortal, and it's like, yeah, like what kind of psychological complex would you have to develop to you're immortal, but you kill yourself out of the slightest, most benign fucking thing, Did you eat my last roll though? I have thought! Doesn't even answer the question, just proceeds to kill himself. So far, this playlist isn't bad. Just get painting out for it.
Painting.
Has to be like Deadpool, takes a few hours to regenerate, so it's more of an annoyance than anything. And like every time you commit seppuku, it's like, we'll deal with it in a bit. Like, or like when we go to a new country or something, it'd be like we're interacting with some of the locals, and fucking, you know, something minor happens, and fucking Stabaru commits seppuku in front of everyone, and there's like horrified locals being like, "My God, why would he do such a thing?" And we're like, "He'll be fine." like fucking Boris just drags him away out of the background. Like, just don't mind him. Oh.
So.
The seppuku is like the monk whipping himself every time he screws up. That's like the most intense form of self-flagellation. Like repeated suicide. Females complaining. And these tunes are fucking lit. Popcorn. Paintingu. I'm actually going to leave it there, guys. I need to eat something proper. Can't just like be like a bird pecking away at popcorn. I need something more substantial. And the rack of sleep last night has left me minus some chi. But I believe 3 hours should do for the goo. If not, then I don't have a complaints department. I just have a large tiger in the corner that you can have a conversation with. And how that will go is entirely up to you. Right, my beloved Japanites. This concludes today's episode of Paintingu. I hope you enjoyed Ingu. Much progress was made today on the Japanese Ostrich Police Mark II painting.
I believe this shall be a success. Tomorrow's Wednesday, I believe. Wednesday? Indeed. So don't forget, Thursday, we return to the Coninator. But in the meantime, we shall be focusing on Japan. So, until tomorrow, same time, same place, same high-octane Paintingu energy. I, Defendero, demigod of Paintingu, along with my Paintingu posse. Tobias, Beakus, Gross, Boris the Bear, and of course, Myro, the piano-praying petrified primate. And Garros reminds you to like and subscribe to Paintingu. Rest I remove his aluminium bucket and fling him at you. The last thing you want to contend with is a Siberian, perhaps Bengal, formerly addicted to cocaine tiger. It would be a ferocious experience. Right, don't forget to pay for Paintingu if you haven't. Otherwise you have no honor. In the meantime, be good, be true, and be beautiful. And I shall see you soon. Sayonara, you filthy mortals. Oof, coffee and popcorn on an empty stomach. Boo. Very boo.